We are at Driftless Glen here in Baraboo, Wisconsin. We're inside with Casey. Going to take us around, show us around the place.
Yeah.
And,
so first of all, thank you for coming up to Driftless Glen. I tend to move quickly through the hallway portion, but just a quick rundown. Okay. These are the owners, Brian and Renee Diamas. Brian was a car dealer for many years in the Sycamore, DeKalb area of Illinois. Renee is a sculptor, still is to this day. So actually that otter up there in the retail section she did, as well as the cranes behind the bar.
Okay.
So after a while of doing their own thing, they wanted to do something together, settled on a distillery right here in Baraboo, Wisconsin. We are here because we're in the driftless region, so no glacial drift. 10 to 12,000 years ago, the last of the glaciers were moving around and missed the southwest corner of Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. No glacial drift, very nice water. A couple pictures here. This is most of the team. Just a couple of various shots from around the distillery that we like to showcase on the wall here, as well as the new private label program that we just started this year. So This is a small sample of everything that we've done. I'm well over 80 different private labels this year already.
I didn't know you guys were doing that at all.
Yep. So. I can touch on that a little bit more later if you're interested.
And it's interesting too. Everyone always thinks distilleries have this huge number of employees that work with them. And you've got 10 maybe?
So it's myself and Nathan on the distillery end. We each have helpers. So Brian is mashing for Nathan. Angelica is bottling for me. You've probably seen her names on the bottle.
Yes.
In the restaurant, we have Scott, the restaurant manager, and chef managing the kitchen. The back end, I'm sure you were emailing with either Abby or Bethany. They run all the operations and marketing. And then we have these 3 sales guys that are out in the market running around every day.
Okay.
They put 60,000 miles on a vehicle every year.
All right. Well,
very small team.
All right.
Also big supporters of the military, EMS, police departments. So these are a few private labels we've done over the years, as well as some plaques, challenge coins, a flag that was flown over a base in Kuwait that we've been given over the years.
Very nice.
It's kind of a fun personal story. I actually got to meet with this group when they did their pick. And somehow it worked out that I got my way onto that refueling tanker and was up there over Minnesota refueling F-16s. That was very fun. Once in a lifetime. Super nice guys. But I will warn you, we are in production back here. It's going to be very loud. I'll try to go pretty quick. I'm sure you've seen all of this already.
That's okay.
We'll just stop for the still.
Everything starts with grain from Wisconsin, so I'll focus primarily on bourbon. That's our main product. 60% corn, 20% rye, 20% malt in the super sacks over here. We'll send those out to the shaker tower, which will bring them up to the top of the mash cooker, which is currently running very loud, about 100 degrees. Mashing, very simple. It's grain and water as well as enzyme mixed together. This takes about 8 hours. Right at the end of it, this will be pumped over into the fermentation tanks. Normally, I could show you a full fermenter. However, we're running our last distillation today until the next load of barrels comes up. 2,500 gallon fermenters. This process is going to take about 3 to 5 days, and then we'll transfer over to the next holding tank. After fermentation, we're going to pump into the beer well. This is a closer holding tank. This is just going to be mixing up fermentation, homogenizing the mixture before it gets sent to the top of the fountain still. This is something a little unique to our distillery. This is a custom-built 44-foot tall column still by Vendome out of Louisville, Kentucky. As you can see, we are currently in production, so you can see the mash coming down right now. I believe this is the second largest still in the U.S. For our production this year, we're going to be doing about 40 barrels a week. If we wanted to, we could run this continuous 3 shifts every day, and we could just keep it running and do closer to 200 a week. But don't have that much demand yet. We do a lot with the little around here.
Yeah, we do.
Very small team, very small facilities, and as you'll see in the next building, usually pretty tight on space. So we do have the pot still. We don't use this too often anymore. The head distiller would know a lot more about what he actually uses this for at this point, but this was used primarily in the early years. We also have the hybrid still over there. All of the dark spirits are coming off the copper. All the dips and vodkas are coming off the hybrid still. At the end of a distillation run, we have about 8 to 10 barrels worth of distillate into one of these tanks. And you can see on the other side here, it's just filling some bourbon barrels.
So 10-gallon barrel program is something pretty unique. We offer full 10-gallon barrels of your product. Cost is $2,500. It includes the barrel, the plaque, call it whatever you want. It's going to be all custom labeled. You come spend the day with me, do all the bottling by hand, and it works out to about 35 to 55 bottles.
Okay.
So we did bourbon, rye, normal bourbon recipe. I've done a couple double oak projects, and then the ones that you might have gotten a shot of back there, I have some specialty Mizunara barrels at the moment that we just got.
Okay.
But pretty unique.
Yeah.
Lots of people have liked the 10-gallon program over the years. So this is going to be the primary warehouse. This one is the largest currently, holds the most inventory. Right now there's about 3,000 barrels in here. Maximum capacity, I've had 3,500 to 3,700 in here, but it's just inoperable at that point. I have barrels stacked all the way down the aisle to the front door and I can't access anything.
Right. Yeah, you got to be able to get to them with a lift to get to everything. Yeah.
This is my favorite warehouse. The next one is the bottling facility that we'll visit. I can walk you through the third warehouse. The fourth one, unfortunately, is off-site.
Okay.
But I've got about 3,000 in here, close to 1,000 in the next building, about 600 in the third building, and 2,200 off-site.
Off-site.
So I'm sure you already know most of this.
That's okay.
Angel Share, Devil's Cut. So this is a couple methods on how we lose product out of the barrels. Angel Share is evaporation into the air. Devil's Cut is the dark line you see, the absorption through the wood itself, along with leakage. Every barrel tends to leak a little bit. You can see it all over the floor in here. Between those three types of loss, we're typically losing 5 to 7% the first year and about 3 to 5% every following year. So the typical barrel, by the time I go to dump it, about 20 to 30% loss, and even higher on some of the older age stated ones.
And you guys are averaging on your regulars 5 to 6, is that what you're?
So I would say 5 to 7. So we do have everything all the way up to, it'll be 11 this coming week, actually.
Yeah. I got some of your 10-year, I had to order it, but I got some of your 10-year in North Carolina, so.
Oh yeah, I actually did just send a shipment to North Carolina, so they should be getting something pretty soon. But yeah, typically I would say 5 to 7.
I would say
nothing under 4 ever.
Now many of these are pretty new, I can tell, with the dates, but it's fair. Your barrels are very clean, and I notice inside that they're Kelvin.
Some of them.
Some of them, okay. I didn't know if you were using them exclusively or.
Not anymore. Yeah. So over the years, we've switched cooperages many times, as you'll see as we walk through here. There was also a barrel shortage for a time, so we were just taking whatever we could get for a while. So that is some of these darker barrels you see here. The whiskey coming out of these is great. However, the barrel build quality was not. They showed up and did not hold liquids, so we had to steam them under a tarp, which rapid aged the outside. You can see we hammered all the rings together to try and tighten them up. Affected the outside, doesn't affect the whiskey. But
and I see you've got something you're finishing here, because that's a
few of them, yeah.
Wine,
we just did a Father's Day event, so everything's a little jumbled in here at the moment, just to make the aisle clean for people to pass through. But most of the finishing products are in the next building. However, I have vanilla in here. I have some Naranja and port in that back corner. Oloroso and Pinot up here at the front. This is something kind of wild that I just decided to do one day, and so far it's turning out. I still don't think I would use the word good yet, but it's not bad.
Double cast gin barrel.
So that is rye into a used gin barrel. So that is a gin finish rye.
I've never heard of anyone doing that, so.
Something pretty unique. I just like the experimentation. I like to try anything.
You get a chance to, you do. That's great. I saw your 10,000th barrel up here. I got that a few minutes ago.
We did a party, actually, when we filled that 10,000th barrel. So everybody at the party that night signed their name on there, and not sure how long I'm going to hold that for. Possibly 10 year. Really, just when it's ready, it's ready.
Right.
I don't have a date set on it. This is kind of neat as well. This is actually barrel number 1.
Oh. Okay.
That picture of Brian and Renee in the hallway, that is them filling this barrel.
Wow.
Probably the worst product we've ever made.
Well, in a small barrel, it's been in there that long. It's
Also,
going to have some oak to it.
just the first 100 barrels, most of them did not make it to market.
Right.
Yeah, still learning what we were doing at that point.
That's it. Everybody's learning as you go.
This is also kind of fun, Japanese Mizunara. This was one of my favorites of last year. Extremely hard to get your hands on the barrels.
You know, I just learned about these trees. They grow very small. They're like 15 to 20 feet is all they grow in height. So they can't, I thought about it. I'm like, wow, you got to work hard to get staves out of that.
Also have to be pretty old, and they regulate the export of those barrels. So they're very hard to get your hands on and even pricier when you do. So that's about 12 times the cost for that empty barrel versus any other one in here.
I've heard 3,800 to 5,800, something like that. Yeah.
But over the years, we've used many different cooperages. These ones specifically is the bulk of what I have at the moment. This is the Oaks Cooperage out of Missouri. We did switch back to Calvin Cooperage, so going forward this year, all new Calvin Cooperage barrels. Just to name a few others, we've worked with Blackwater, Tracy Cooperage, Zach Cooperage. Like I said, Calvin, Barrels Unlimited, Barrel Mill. Pretty much anybody we could get our hands on for a while there. I have noticed over the years, my favorite barrels tend to be the low barrels, anything low yield. Most of the distiller selects I've picked over the years, which is kind of my private barrel program, tend to be in about this range.
Okay.
So I tend to like a little bit more of that oakiness, a little more surface contact, and I absolutely love Rise. That tends to be my favorites.
Yeah.
So I think that helps the Rise. Most of the older inventory back here buried. I tend to hide the old stuff in the back. We'll come back to that building. We'll do some barrel samples as well. So this is the bottling facility.
Okay.
This one is temperature controlled. This is all of our finished goods inventory, as well as the bottling line.
Okay. I had someone online ask me to find out if you guys heat cycle your warehouses.
I have done that with the other warehouse. This one I do not, just because I have all the equipment and finished goods in here. That one is completely open to the elements out there. That one we've heat cycled. This one we do not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone wants to know because of the cold up here and how do you age in the same time frame as some of the southern distilleries and things like that.
So this is the bottling line. Basics of the process here, custom glass. This used to be made over in France. Now it's made in Mexico. It has our name on the front, logo on the back, and then these are actually Brian and Renee's thumbprints.
Oh,
one of each.
Okay. I love those there though because it's perfect when you pick it up.
They also stack into the cabinet nicely, so I can fit more bottles at my house. Starts onto the bottling line, runs through a deionizer, taking any static out of the bottles. Into the rinser, this blows compressed air and pulls a vacuum, takes any shipping particles from shipping out. Whiskey itself, after it's cut to proof or barrel strength, is dumped into this tank, runs through a light cartridge filter, not chill filtered, just runs through a cartridge filter to take any of that sediment out. Come into the filler, fill 6 bottles at a time, automatically shut off. Through the corking machine, and onto the labeler, front and back label, all of our printing, and then every single bottle that's ever left this place has been hand sealed with the heat gun. Okay. Then 2x2 into the boxes. So you can actually see we're working on a private label today.
Gotcha. So how small of a run of private label do you do?
So typically at the moment, I'm just doing them to order. The minimum commitment for the private labels is 50 cases over the course of 1 year.
Okay.
So I'm just doing them to order though. I'm not bottling all 50 at once. So you can take that in any breakdown. I typically recommend about 10 at a time. But if you want to take 5 a month, you can. If 10 is better.
Really?
So we'll work with you a little bit.
It's a big cash outlay for small.
We've noticed a lot of the single barrel program slowing down. Not many liquor stores buying full single barrels anymore. A lot more of a shift towards that private label program.
Okay.
Different customer base as well. But we still do offer the single barrel program. Actually have one going to a larger chain store right here. Yeah, this building's a bit of a mess at the moment. Like I told you before we started here, I just got back from vacation, so I have not had much time to put everything back together yet.
It's a working facility, and that's how it should be, in my opinion. So.
Oh yeah, at the end of the day, it's a warehouse.
Right.
This is the bulk of all of our experimentals.
Okay.
So this is where I try to keep everything. The ones in the other warehouse I determined needed something different than this warehouse was offering. So like Mizunara, I want to get a ton of heat into that barrel. The vanilla, that was just, I changed that to just experiment. I've done vanilla 4 or 5 times now in this building. Turns out great. One of our best sellers every time. Just wanted to see what a summer in the heat does to it this time.
Right.
There is, actually I might be able to just read them off my list here. I've got a number of different things just on my list: Madeira, Oloroso, Armagnac, Sauternes Rye, Pinot Rye, Spanish Brandy, Oloroso. I've got wheat bourbon in here, 51 rye. I've got some tawny port barrels, used French cherry wood barrels, ice wine. But I do like to experiment, so I have a couple barrel brokers that I work with. They send me a quarterly list of what they have, and then if I have any special requests, I can send that back. They'll find it for me. So I've got another shipment arriving next month, actually. I'm gonna have some really interesting ones on there.
All right, so we know to be watching for
At this point, the owners have pretty much trusted this program to me. Nobody really asked me too many questions. Most of the time it works out. So
Casey is
I can get a little wild.
He's the mad scientist of Driftless Glen.
Yeah, as Bourbon Hunter called me, the barrel master.
There you go.
I like that one. Maple syrup in this port barrel here. That'll be pretty interesting. Lots of different exclusives, experimentals. These are typically distillery only, one-offs if they tend to work out or I really like them, I repeat. If not, then we just have one barrel. It's a one-time release. I've had a couple that we haven't released yet. Unfortunately, Amburana is one of those. I am very torn on that. I've tasted it out to a few people. That is a very love or hate it.
And I'm
finish.
a hater. I'll tell you, I'm a hater.
That's why I have not released it yet.
There's been a couple, but you've got to stay on top of that. So close. It's almost daily tasting.
So my philosophy with the finishing is less is more. I like to just have an essence of it in there, but I don't want to mask the bourbon entirely.
Yeah, to me,
I'm not using finishing to cover up bad products. I'm trying to use it to enhance.
Yeah, to me, the
Amburana is one that I just...
The bourbon should stand up. I'm not a mixed drink drinker either, but if I'm going to do something with mixed drink, the bourbon's got to be, or the rye's got to be,
the
front, the forward-facing piece of that. So,
yeah, Amburana unfortunately was one of those ones I knew it went quick. Most of our finishes are 6 months to a year, so I typically give them a month first before I start tasting them, just to try and pick up a little bit of character. Amburana at 1 month, way overdone.
Way overdone.
Did it again, tried it at a week, way overdone. So at that point, I actually have it sitting in one of my totes up there. Haven't released it yet. Not sure quite what I'm gonna do with that yet. Not much going on in this warehouse. Up until January, this was completely full with barrels. Then we moved a ton of them out to the off-site warehouse. So at this point, mostly overflow, grain. I have some cases in here, some extra glass, racks for new fill barrels, poly totes. Kind of just catch-all storage at this point.
And this is an older building.
Yes.
It kind of, from the outside, I thought, is this a fire station for the town at some point? Because it kind of had that look.
For a while, this used to be a truck repair facility, so they'd pull 2 full-length semis in here. We built this firewall, actually, when we took the building over. After that, it was the Baraboo Taxi Company. So the taxis were all dispatched from here. They had offices in this space and bathrooms and all that, and we just
tore all that out.
Stripped it all. Yeah, this one is temperature controlled, mostly due to the fire suppression system, but we do try and artificially swing the temperature in here.
You've got the facility where you are is beautiful. I mean, you're right along the river. As the owners were designing everything, it's very clear that they had an idea in mind of what they wanted. Beautiful, really beautiful place. So
yeah, very nice restaurant as well.
That's what I've heard. We're going to have lunch and find out. So
probably, I'm obviously a bit biased, but probably the best restaurant in town. Right on the river, great food. Chef does a great job making almost everything from scratch. That's pretty much the whole property. I know it was a quick tour. Unfortunately, can't go to the off-site warehouse, and there's not much to see over there. There's a wood shop over there, and then a bunch of barrels piled into a room.
Okay.
However, I can get the sample kit, and we can go through and drill a couple samples.
You mentioned something about sampling. All right, we're going to do a little barrel tasting. So
that guy actually is one of the newer barrels.
How steady the camera stays.
So that's the specialty finishing barrel I'm using. It is an old barrel, new to us. 20-year cognac barrel, emptied out, refilled with vanilla extract, emptied out, refilled with bourbon. All right, so where do we want to start? I've got just about everything. So we could do bourbon, rye, we could get into some malts, I could get into more of our niche recipes, we could do finished products, wild experiments.
Wherever you want to go, I've got a self-driving car.
All right.
I am not the biggest fan of malts, but I am beginning to warm up to it. So
I'm about in the same boat.
It's funny. I've seen
it's been my least favorite product here for years, and just last month I tried one finally and actually liked it.
What is your barrel entry proof? 117, kind of the standard?
Typically has been 117. The last year we've been playing around, or the last couple of years now, we've been playing around with entry proof. So everything from 105 up to 125.
Yeah, 125 is the max they can go to legally.
All right. One hole in the top for airflow, one in the bottom.
Yeah, he's a professional. What are you talking about?
All right, a little open spots. All right, so this is going to be barrel strength.
Just a little slow.
Typically, I'm going to say about 120, 125 proof on these. I have had some wild variations on the 10-year though.
That is sweet.
I think the hottest one I've let out at this point to the market has been 132 proof.
Very sweet on the nose. Candy, 10-year bourbon.
Probably about 120 to 125.
Got my brother here with me.
Oh yes, the 10 years have been fantastic.
You get that oak coming down on the end, but it's an all-over palate. Pretty viscous. Yeah, that oak spice is really coming in. Do you guys disclose your mash bill? I have never. My son could tell me without a doubt. I can't remember that stuff, so.
I did say it in the distillery. It was just very hard to hear. The bourbon recipe is 60-20-20.
Okay.
60 corn, 20 rye, 20 malt. I got a hazmat bottle in my office. Unreleased.
Hey.
Hazmat rye. Yeah, I've done a few hazmat picks on that Distiller Select series over the years. I can show you when we go back in. But I've got my own sticker. That program is completely under myself and Nathan's control. It's our favorites out of this entire facility. Anything we think could be as wild as we want to get. So over the years, I've done mostly just bourbons and ryes, but I've thrown a few hazmats in this year, and people love those.
Yeah.
The whiskey nerds love those.
Yeah.
It's not going to be your everyday drinker coming in to buy a hazmat bottle and make a cocktail.
No. But no, that's good. That's a lot of depth
fun here.
A lot of depth there.
Pull another good sample here, but I am going to need some space. Instead of climbing around, this will be a little safer.
Really, a lot of thanks here, Casey, for this. So, and of course, Casey knows where the good stuff is.
All right, there we go.
We're both duly impressed. Neither of us have ever
love this
seen.
forklift. I am the only one that runs this thing for the most part. It's got about 680 hours on it. We bought it brand new, and I have about 678 of those.
Wow.
All right, let's pull something fun here.
We got some rye coming now, folks.
I've been needing to pull this sample for a while.
Well, go ahead and get a tub, and we'll.
So this will be a good time.
How many years does it take to be your master distiller, right?
I am not the master distiller. That is Nathan. My business card says warehouse and bottling manager. Bourbon Hunter's given me the title of barrel master. A little bit of everything. So I manage the warehousing end. I do all of the prep work for the bottling line. I do most of the blending, a lot of the single barrel picks. Whenever the sales guy needs samples to send out to the market, I'm pulling samples, tasting through those. A little bit of everything. I tend to have a pretty good hand in the monthly releases here. So yeah, I've done just about everything here. And bussing, host, dishwashing. I did some restaurant management days. I worked as the bottler for quite a while. For a time there, I actually would go over to the restaurant manager's house in town here and mow lawns for him. Mow the lawn around here, did a lot of the cleaning, landscaping.
Whatever it took to get your hours in, right?
Yep, just about. Which, that's tended to work for me.
All right, so we've got a rye here.
This is a rye. This has been on my list for a while. If you still have anything in your glasses, feel free to just splash them into the barrel.
They call it blessing the barrel. Some do. By the way, Hunter, he's called you out at least twice as we've been with him in case it wasn't on camera. So
sorry, he is still one of my favorite barrel picks we've done. This is quite a bit of fun, though.
Okay.
I love going through doing samples.
Yeah.
It's one of the only groups that I've spent the whole weekend with, though.
Yeah. Well, it's like he stays at somebody's house or something.
He stays at our sales guy's house, and that's the only time of year I will go down and stay at his house as well. So we had quite a time.
Wow, man, it's a candy again. It's really, wow,
This is a rye that I've had my note on for a little over a year now.
Wow.
I've told people many times over the years that Driftless makes good bourbon. We make exceptional rye. Like, I would put our ryes up against anybody in the country and stand behind that.
Your rye mash bill?
75-25.
Okay. And you said it's a chocolate malt? That's what you said?
Caramel malt.
Caramel malt, okay.
Yeah,
I
still
definitely
my
get a little
favorite
malt
rye.
off of it on the first sip. We do this on the channel all the time because we're huge fans of rye. So many people, and we'll do tastings sometimes. We'll do tastings with 500-600 people. We'll put a rye on the table, and they're like, "Oh no, I don't want to try that." We're like, "Just try it." And they're, "Oh, that's so sweet. That's so yes, exactly. That's exactly what that is. It's like liquid candy."
Not under Driftless Glen's name, but at my house, I think what I'm going to do pretty soon, just personally, is I'm just going to dump a rye into a bourbon bottle and start tasting it out to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I wholly believe it's just the word rye that scares people away.
I think you're right. I just can't figure out why. The only thing I can come up with is the old Westerns when you'd walk into a saloon and they'd go, "Give me a shot of rye and a dirty glass," or something like that. But
A lot of my parents' generation that I've talked to also has, a lot of them have very bad rye stories. Like back in high school, drank too much rye, woke up on the floor.
yeah,
Essentially that.
I'm definitely getting the mint on the nose here now on the second.
That is actually not quite as good as it was 6 months ago.
I'm pulling more of the malt out. It's a little bit, I don't know about you, but for me, it's a little bit drying.
Yeah.
And I'll attribute that to the malt, but it's also can be the oak as well. Because that one's probably down pretty low in the barrel.
Yeah. It is very empty, but that had a lot more thickness to it last year.
The nose is wonderful.
That's what's fun about whiskey. Changes every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Never get the same thing twice.
And you've been into these a few times.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
If I'm drinking our product, it's quality control. Anybody else is market research.
There you go.
I can justify it.
Perfect.
Yeah, some of these barrels actually have been ones that I've sent out to the market multiple times, and they just have been rejected by stores who didn't like them or just didn't want to rye. So they come back to me, or the sample guy keeps the sample and I lose track of it, have to pull another one.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a number of reasons I've tapped into these barrels so many times, and also just being that old, they've made their rounds a few times.
Yeah. So when you're doing a barrel select, what's your normal run? Four barrels you're pulling from?
Depends on the group.
Okay.
So there's a couple distinct types of people that come in to buy barrels. There is the whiskey nerds that absolutely love it. Like, they know what they're talking about. They'll run off 40 notes for you on anything. They are a lot pickier.
Yeah.
So I tend to cater to that crowd a little bit better. That's kind of where I would land if I were walking in the door doing a barrel pick, I think. Then you also have store owners, like just chain store owners. Some of them are kind of in the middle, but others, they need something they can put on the shelf that the everyday consumer is going to come in and buy. It's got to be good, got to be smooth, low proof.
Mm-hmm.
With that, it's usually a little bit easier. So you're not trying to pick out any specific notes, you just want something sweet.
Right.
So really depends on the type of group that we have in here, or the size as well. I mean, if you're going to come in and if you want to buy 5 cases, I'm not going to go through and do 50 samples.
No.
If you want to do a full custom blend and you're going to take 100 cases, we'll get a little more into it and get picky.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, I would say the average barrel pick looks like me walking through the door with the kit. I tend to start off at the 5-year bourbon just as a baseline. Usually the first sip of anything, you don't really get much out of it.
Right.
From there, then I'll just throw a wild card in. I'll go to, say, 51 rye. Which one do you like more? Then I can kind of start pinpointing and start working the age ranges and the flavor profiles we've had over the years, and I can try and get a little more selective. Okay. But just to start off, got to get a baseline, got to get a bit of a range. Mm-hmm. Most groups, I'd say 5 to 6 samples on site. If you're off site, I do 3 samples to each group.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just want samples sent to your house and you want to pick one, it's 3. We've been doing a lot more barrel picks on site this year, though.
Well,
it really is the experience of the place.
It's
standing in here, watching you drill, pulling samples.
If you can do it, it's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, it's worth the trip up.
Yes.
Is there ever such a thing as the lost barrel?
I've had a couple barrels over the years. Long story short, my predecessor did not have an organization system in here. He did, it was just personal for him. So there was no computer tracking for anything in here. So
Part of my question.
over the years, I've built out pretty much an entire map of this warehouse. There might be a few barrels and it's not quite up to date at the moment. Any of the new stuff I haven't had a chance to track yet, but
I'm thinking about that one that's back there on the bottom in the corner that I forgot about. Or
nope. Almost every row is tracked. I'll show you here. I have
Very good question.
nearly 60 different notes on my phone that all look like this. It's barrel number after barrel number. So if you say, where is barrel 6682? It's going to be warehouse A, right row. This is row 8, 9, 10, 11. It's going to be in that row. And then that is every barrel in that row. So I can type any one of these numbers into I copy paste them from my phone onto the laptop into the map system, and then I can search on our distillery management system. Where is that barrel? It'll tell me right row 11. If that doesn't tell me, I can always reference all my old notes.
Yeah, Rick was just asking about why is the flavor so different? I said, well, a lot of it's mash bill. A lot of it then too is where you are, where you are with the aging and the temperature ranges and things like that. Yeah, that one is a little off.
Yeah, I'm actually not very happy with
profile.
that at the moment. That was one of my favorite barrels last year.
It's got a lasting finish. It really hangs.
So rye tends to be one of those products that's just a roller coaster. I try it at 10, it's great. Try it at 11, it's terrible. 13, it's going to be great again. 14, terrible.
Yeah.
I've learned not to just discount them if they're bad. I just stick them into a separate pile and I let them go. Sometimes they surprise me. If it's consistently bad for multiple years, then I'll start to reconsider.
Yeah.
And then I have an idea for those barrels that I haven't done yet.
Where it comes from makes a difference. I mean, your rye you're getting here local. All of your
all the
materials you're
grain is
getting here
local now.
local. The other difference is where I was talking about the grains and where they come from. Different ryes grown in different parts of the country are completely different in their flavor profile when they go. We're really close with a distiller in North Carolina, another very small distiller that's just beginning to get some notice out there called Broad Branch. They use a Washington State Prairie rye in their mash bill for their ryes, and they tried to have it grown in North Carolina to save on the transportation, save on all that.
Completely different
Flavor profile of what they were getting, so they went back to having it transported and brought into them. And it's a completely different rye. You don't get mint off of it. You don't get as much of the citrus. You'll get some, but completely different.
The next one here is pretty interesting. We have not released this product yet.
Oh, unreleased.
Because it is
Here we go.
not ready.
And we picked up a couple of other people on the tour here. So, all right, so we're sampling a wheated bourbon now.
He didn't get
So this is wheated bourbon.
Okay, your mash bill here.
Same as the bourbon. Instead of rye, we're substituting wheat. 60,
Okay.
20, 20.
Okay.
Entry proof was 100. So this is probably in the 105 to 110 range at this point. Next May, this will be the first ever release of 10-year wheated.
Oh, wow. So we're tasting it early.
This release is going to be quite limited. I don't have many of these.
This is good. This is special. I hate to use the word smooth, but it tends to smooth everything out.
Very soft grain.
Yes. Sweet, soft grain.
I want to have a range for everybody. I want to have everybody from first brand new to bourbon, first bottle they bought, real smooth, real light, all the way up to your crazy rye drinkers, where I tend to be. They want the 160 proof ryes.
When this one comes out next year,
This one will come out next year.
look for it. Look for it.
It'll
So
turn
how many,
10 in May.
approximately how many barrels, if you disclose, of that do you think you have?
For the first release, I think 6.
Okay.
Then I'm going to have a second release in a couple more years. Wheated bourbon's been one of those products that we just can't keep on the shelf. So first release, I saved half for 10, sold half at 5. Sold out so fast, I couldn't keep it on the shelf. Second release, same thing. Third release, same thing. This time around, all of these barrels are turning in August. I have 100 barrels turning 5 in August. I'm not running out of wheated bourbon again.
I'll just have
10 years is going to be a while.
I'll have to get on your list. So
10 year will be a while. It'll probably be distillery exclusive.
so I know when to send him here.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. If you'd like, we can go try some experimental stuff too in the other building.
Sounds good.
So where do you want to start? I mean, just feel free to read through any of these. Just let me know.
You know what? If you can do it from here, I don't know if you can or not.
The cherry wood? I have not sampled those barrels yet. They're quite new.
Okay, then never
So
mind.
we can give them a try. They've only been in there about a month though.
No.
Yeah, I'm not telling you no. I'm just saying they're pretty new, so the influence isn't going to be very aggressive yet. Or very pronounced.
Oh man. See, what do you got? So you got an Oloroso over there.
Oloroso, Armagnac, Cognac.
I'll
I
stay
have
away
a
from
couple
the Armagnac.
champagne barrels, Naranja or orange sherry wood barrels. I have port.
Well, let's do what's easy for you to get to.
Easy to get to. Here's something fun.
Okay.
This is a first. I have not, for some reason, I haven't done this before.
So Madeira barrels.
This one is ready to go, and it's leaking. I was actually going to bottle this week. So I have barrels from Hungary, Spain, tons from France, Portugal, all over the place. Brazil.
Thank you.
Yes. So this is going to be a wine finish. This was a bourbon put into a secondary barrel. Madeira is a type of fortified wine.
So as you're putting your bourbons in, what's your age range?
Really just depends on the barrel. So typically I try to shoot for 5 to 7. A few of them I use older stuff. A few of them I've used younger stuff. Okay. Mostly by taste. Mizunara I tend to go high. So I put 10 year back into that Mizunara barrel and that should be 12 by the time it comes out. Mostly I'd say 5 to 7 though. And I've noticed this one's picked up a leak in the last week.
That's got a maple.
Yeah,
that's very strange.
That's got a maple on it.
That is something I was not expecting out of this.
No, I was not
I've had
either.
a few Madeira finishes before, and it's never this.
It's a Brock's maple nut goodie. Just like I get that. There's a few things I get that off of, and a lot of people don't even know what that was because they're not old enough to remember those candies. That really gets spicy at the end.
Yeah, and
that first one.
Nice little spike of heat.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
It's kind of how Armagnac is too. I really like that as well.
This is an unknown because it has no writing on that barrel whatsoever.
I labeled it on the backside.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I know what it is.
So you guys work, because I just saw this on Hunter's latest excursion up here. Just south of you, you've got I can't remember the name of the place now, but it's a liquor store and they make a lot of barrel furniture.
Lodi.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Lodi. Yes, it's Wisconsin Barrel Company.
Wisconsin Barrel Company.
Yeah,
so
if you know where Lodi is, this guy kept calling it Lodi the entire trip.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
The entire trip.
Hunter tends to do that.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, so Wisconsin Barrel Company, good friend Dustin Coyle owns that over there.
They don't make barrels.
They do not make barrels. No. They make all kinds of neat stuff out of barrels.
Yeah, but they don't open until Wednesday.
Sell full barrels. They do all kinds of laser engraving, custom stuff.
He's got a pretty good amount of bourbon in there for sale,
yes. Too. One of the better liquor stores in the area, for sure. One of the best selections. All right, next one.
All right. So I was going to ask this. So someone does a barrel pick. From the time they pick that barrel to the time you bottle that barrel, kind of what's that look like?
Depends on how fast you can get me artwork. Okay. So a lot of people want their logo on the bottle, so I do little custom stickers or even those private labels. It takes time to order. If you do the private label route, if it's going to be, say, like a whiskey group, for example, if you're going to be selling it to your customers, it needs to be approved through the TTB, so then I'm on the government's timeline.
Right.
And then once that's approved, then I need to get the labels ordered. If you just wanted 5 cases, or not 5 cases, 10 cases, 15 cases of something tomorrow, I can turn it around within a day. But typically, if you're going to do the full process, I tell everybody about 6 to 8 weeks. Most of the time we deliver in about 3 or 4.
So that's not bad at all. It's some of the ones that do them, it's 6 months. It can change a lot in 6 months.
So most of the time I will have them dumped a lot sooner than that. It's just all the holding time in between trucking companies and then to the distributor and then the distributor's truck to the retailer.
Yeah.
I mean, you realize
you lose a lot of time there.
Is this a rye?
This is a rye.
Okay.
I didn't tell you what this is.
No.
If you'd
Well,
like
that's
to
okay.
know, I'll let you know.
I'm getting a maple on the nose on this one, but also I'm getting a citrus.
This is kind of a finish, kind of not. So this is double oak rye. It's been in for about 4 months now.
Same char level, or?
Yep.
Oh man.
I started with an extremely sweet rye, though. I wanted the softest, sweetest rye I could find to try and balance out all that heavy oak char that comes out of a new barrel again. So far, so good.
Yeah.
I think this needs a little bit more time, but
It's a little bit sharp on the edges, I'd say, but there's a lot of promise there. So have you tasted this one yet?
which one?
The cherry liqueur?
That is the third time I've done cherry liqueur.
Yeah.
So I have had the previous ones. I have not tasted that specific barrel yet. Not my favorite finish we've done, but it goes over very well. People like it. It's just not my favorite.
Like a Luden's cherry cough drop.
We can get
probably.
into it.
No, it's okay.
We can tap into anything.
Ask and you shall receive.
All right. I have not sampled this one yet, so I don't know what to expect here. And like almost everything else today, barrel strength.
Maybe I'm just hooked on maple right now, but that's,
This
I do have a maple syrup barrel.
yeah, it's okay. So it's not just me.
No.
I do have a maple syrup barrel. It might also be carryover. That Madeira is very strong.
Yeah.
And we're not rinsing glasses, so that could be an effect here.
This has got some ethanol on it too. That double oak hangs.
This one previously is one that I've cut to 100 proof, so I probably would continue on that train. I do, however, have a little bit of water if you want to try this out.
I like this. Yeah.
Let's see how it changes here.
It's amazing what a few drops of water can do.
Yeah.
Make it bloom, make the nose come alive. Wow, that's not bad as it is. It's not super cherry forward. I don't get any maple at all on the palate. All right, it really makes it,
It's amazing.
oh wow, yeah, that really makes it bloom out. I'm getting such an ethanol hit off that. There is so little cherry that comes through. Yeah, very, very little. It's very faint. Now, you said that's only been in there for,
This has been in about 2.25 years.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was the double oak that hadn't been in very long or
Yeah,
something.
double oaks haven't been in very long. Same with Madeira. That's actually quite new. That picked up a lot of character very fast, so I don't think I'm going to leave that one much longer than the week. I had enough friends last year asking me for cast strength wheated, so we've only ever released it at 96. I did a couple single barrels at 102, 103, but I never released a higher proof wheated. So last year, enough people were bothering me about it.
Well, add me to the list.
I ended up bottling 10 cases off the top, just right out of the barrel. Then I went and cut the rest of it to 96. That came out at 115. That ended up being one of my favorite things last year. Submitted that to the Ascot Awards this year, and that was double platinum.
Oh, wow.
So one of my favorite things we've done, and that's stood up over the last year. So I'm hoping to do more of that.
Okay, so this one is a maple syrup barrel finished. So they bought it with the maple syrup in it. Then they dumped that. They're selling the maple syrup as well. And they had whiskey in it. So about how long has it been in?
Let me read the note here. This was barreled September of last year.
Okay.
I typically do this release every fall, so it'll be about a year by the time this is done.
I get maple on the nose, but it's not crazy.
So what I've noticed with maple syrup is you don't get a lot of maple, you get a lot of sugar. Lots of sugar. Turns out very sweet.
Is that a rye you got in there?
Nope, that's
No?
a bourbon. Rye might be fantastic.
With a good spice, yeah. A year ago, you couldn't make me drink a finished.
I know, he used to say, oh, I don't drink finished.
No.
It's
But I
an
do now.
interesting take on the standard.
Yeah.
I don't discount the standard whiskey, just something a little unique. You get flavors that you're not normally going to get. I like it all though. I don't necessarily have a favorite. Sometimes it's a finished product, sometimes it's a really dark rye, other times it's a 4-year bourbon. I'm all over the map. I don't really have one standard that's
Right.
what I go to.
That's a great maple finish right there.
So finishing is something that we've come to be a little bit known for. So we've done quite well over the years with the finished goods. Something pretty unique every single month.
And you should, based on what I've tasted today. Yeah, you should. All right, I'm getting a little low on battery on the microphones right now. Wrapping up, you guys saw it. We had a great time. I'm going to take a few bottles in and share with Casey. He was sharing some things with me off camera. You know what? Like a great distillery, like great bourbon, our videos get better with time. And take care of yourselves.